I have known and worked with Lois for many years. We have even gone to battle on occasions, but no one has done more for this institution over the last 20 years than the former president, Lois DeFleur. It is due to her visionary leadership during her tenure here at Binghamton that we find ourselves at the current crossroads. You know it's strong leadership when it is at times unpopular. That's the sign of a true leader. Doing what you know is right, even when it's not often popular. Doing something that's not a Band-Aid or a quick fix. Hell, some of the commitments that Lois and others have made to this institution won't fully realize their potential for years to come, but she made them anyway. Why? To secure the future of this university, to elevate it to its rightful place as an elite public institution of higher learning. Don't get me wrong, this today is an excellent, excellent university already. But if we're going to compete with the Virginias and the Berkeleys and the Michigans, some heavy, heavy lifting had to be done. And it was Lois's leadership and vision that set all that in motion. Let me give you a couple of examples. Going Division I and building this mecca to entertainment and Division I athletics. What did Virginia, Berkeley, and Michigan have that we didn't have? Big-time Division I sports and the critical branding for the university that's associated with it. Binghamton got more media impressions from one game against North Carolina a few years ago than most of the state universities in New York receive in months. Big-time athletics also creates a comprehensive, well-rounded experience for its students. Secondly, starting and building the university's endowment. Harvard has billions. State universities like Virginia, Michigan, and Berkeley, billions. Yes, we're a relatively young institution compared to them, but if we're going to compete with them, the endowment was absolutely essential. This endowment will provide scholarships, financial aid, and will enhance the level of excellence of our student body, our professors, our facilities, and beyond. Today, I'm proud to share with you that the endowment stands at $76 million. Not bad for a 65-year-old institution. And it was Lois's stewardship that turned a $10 million endowment into $76 million, a 600% increase during her tenure here. And last, plans for a law school, which will become a reality in a few short years. Forget Michigan and Berkeley. Stony Brook has a medical program. Albany, safety school, has neither a medical school or a law program, and Buffalo has a law school. If we are going to take it to the last level and we are going to establish ourselves as a top-tier elite public university, then all three of these components, D1 sports and the branding associated with it, an endowment and all the benefits that flow from it, and a top law program were all crucial components to achieving that end. And I thank Lois for her commitment, her vision, her daring, and her service to this university, this community, and this state. You know, some think that it's fashionable to be idealistic with commencement speeches. Some think that if you've been touched by success in some way, that it breeds some sort of enlightenment or wisdom, and it's incumbent upon you to share it with others, like right now, like sprinkling fairy dust. But I have some secret that I'm going to let you in on and show you how to become a member of the club. It's funny, but when I tried to come up with something to share with you today that was profound, something important, some advice, a little morsel of wisdom, I couldn't think of one thing related to my career that mattered. I could think of nothing that mattered that related to my career. Not the work, not the money, not the fame, not the dynamic and talented people, not the exotic locations. Don't get me wrong, I have incredible respect and reverence for acting and filmmaking, and tremendous gratitude for all the gifts that my career has bestowed upon me and my family. But everything that's really important to me that I could share with you here today has nothing to do with show business. In the end of the day, I'm a kid from Massapequa, Long Island who is 25 years removed from graduation at Binghamton University. A graduate just like all of you here today. In those 25 years, I have experienced many things. I've had many successes and many failures too. I've hit a few bumps in the road and made mistakes along the way, and I've tried to learn from them. So with that, I thought I would share with you a few words of encouragement and a few pointers that I've picked up along the way in my 25 years since I've left this lovely campus. First, don't let the doomsday forecasters out there that are saying the economy is horrible and the job market is even worse. Don't believe them for a second. I'm a member of the Screen Actors Guild. Its 150,000 members constitute one of the largest labor unions in America. Do you know what percentage of my union earns a living at the craft of acting as defined by the federal government? Their definition is $20,000 a year. Do you know what percentage of my union earns a living that makes at least $20,000 a year at acting? 3%. 97% of the 157,000 members of my union are waiting tables, bartending, and driving cabs and waiting for their break in Hollywood. Some of them have been waiting 6 months, some of them have been waiting for 15 years. The reason I share that with you is because if I could find work consistently over the last 20 years in a job market that has 97% unemployment, then I think you're going to be just fine. Look, you're young, you just graduated from one of the top universities in the country, and you have a future filled with nothing but opportunity in front of you. So don't believe these blowhards and these doomsday forecasters are saying that, think about it. You're the best and the brightest. You're going out into the job market. There's going to be some great opportunities for you. So relax, enjoy this, and stay positive. Second, don't let the greatest role, coming from an actor, the word role, don't let the greatest role in your life flow from your job. Don't let it flow from your career. Let it come from your faith. Let it come from your values. Let it come from your role as a husband or a wife. Let it come from your role as a mother or a father. Let it come from your role as an active participatory member of your community or your church or your temple or your mosque or whomever your higher power is. I can tell you from experience as a father of 3 young children that there is no higher calling in life than someone that shows up for their kids. Let your career be a component of your life. Let it enhance your life. Don't let it define your life. Third, right now you think you know it all. You don't. Ask your parents. When you're 30 or 40, you'll look back and you'll know what I'm talking about. I know because I sat right there where you're sitting right now, and when I left Binghamton for New York City, I thought I had things pretty much figured out. Well, let me tell you, when I became famous and I traveled the world, I hadn't figured it out. When I purchased my first home and ran my first nonprofit organization, I hadn't figured it out. When I met my wife China, fell in love, and got married, I hadn't figured it out. When we had children and I became a father, I hadn't figured it out. And now I stand before you here today pushing 50 years old to testify that I still haven't figured it out. And you know what? That's the good news. That's the beauty. It's a process. It's an evolution. It's a journey. Always grow. Always be curious. Always ask questions. Always let your imagination be your greatest asset. Always seek knowledge. Always challenge yourself to be curious, stimulated, and fulfilled. I was 10 times more interested in learning and experiencing new things in my late 20s and my 30s than I ever was when I left here. That's what an education at Binghamton University provides for you. It instills values that promote a lifetime of growth, a lifetime of learning, but only if you choose to embrace it, only if you choose to participate. It's the gift that keeps on giving. Preserve that. Don't let it die. It's too important. It'll come under attack, but fight it. You'll get a job, you'll launch your career. Many of you may perhaps will get married and have children. You'll have bills to pay, taxes to pay, a mortgage to pay. Don't let these responsibilities hold you back. Don't let them take you prisoner. Never stop growing. Always ask questions. Always be curious. Be spontaneous. Take risks. Don't be afraid to make mistakes. Most important, it's how you learn from these mistakes, how you respond to adversity. The answer to that question will have a profound impact on the shaping of your future. Fourth, keep it simple. One of the greatest technological advancements of the 21st century was the advent of the internet and the personal computer. Right up there with a light bulb and the combustion engine. It has revolutionized our culture and our economy. Unfortunately, One of the worst technological advancements of the 21st century is also the internet and personal computers, along with all those handheld gadgets that control our lives today. Due to these technological breakthroughs, we are living in an era where everything in the world is getting much faster and smaller. It has created a generation of overachieving, multitasking ADD zombies that are completely out of touch with themselves and the world around them. Cell phones, email, Facebook, Twitter, iPhone, iPad, I can't even say them all. Cell phone, email, Facebook, Twitter, iPhone, iPod, iPad, we're all multitasking too much. We're taking on too much responsibility. It's causing too much stress. Many people are saying, stop the ride. I want to get off. This doesn't work for me anymore. I want to raise my kids, enjoy my life. I want to focus on what's important rather than running myself into the ground every day on this hamster wheel. Why don't you try this? Why don't you try doing a couple of things well, say 5 things. Just do 5 things well rather than doing 20 things halfway. You know, you should embrace these new technologies, use them to your advantage, but don't become a zombie. Take a breath, be in the moment, smell the flowers, simplify. Finally, be of service. Give back. It's a cynical time. There's a lot of apathy. People are losing faith in our public institutions. If you can hear over the shouting, the talking heads will tell you that government can't solve our problems anymore. It's too big. There's too much dysfunction. They're controlled by corporations. They can't be trusted. Well, maybe some of that's true, but don't lose faith. Don't become cynical. Government can still solve problems, but we live in an era where they are increasingly more independent upon our participation. They need our help. They need us as their partners. Just paying your taxes doesn't cut it anymore. You've heard the phrase, think globally, act locally? Do it. Get involved in Washington, in Albany, and most importantly in your own communities. Private citizens doing public good, that's what it's all about. And there's plenty of work to be done. Poverty and hunger, social justice, climate change, education, children's issues, the arts, 2 wars, Veterans Affairs, coach a Little League team, volunteer in a nursing home. There are now over 1 million non-government organizations in this country today. More than half of those nonprofits, more than half of the 1 million, have sprung up in the last 10 years. So put on a glove and get in the game. And you know what? It starts right here at Binghamton. You may graduate from Binghamton today, but your relationship with this institution does not and should not end here, now, today. It should not. Sure, you take a few years off, you get a job, you launch a career, you